Hello my friends and welcome back to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel. So today is Saturday and as usual on Saturday now I'm getting used to do my one-to-one where I'm discussing different topics about Italy, relocation to Italy, the dynamics in the country and so on. What's going on, more or less, and whatever. Okay, so basically last Saturday I made a kind of provocative video and was about this division between the north and the south of Italy. But then my question, to be honest, I was asking this question even when I was making that video last Saturday, simply because again I say it was just a bit provocative. But my question from the very beginning was, but is it in the reality like this, the situation? Is it like this for real in the reality? I mean, these statistics that I've been talking in the video, I mean, do they really represent the reality of the country, or these are mainly just mere stereotypes? Now, according to me, according to Antonio, for me, these are just stereotypes because, anyway, it seems like in Italy these things have been built now for many years, several years. So basically, it's very hard nowadays to detach from these stereotypes that have been put in people's head, in people's mind, not only in Italy but also abroad. Okay, and so from this point of view, now I want to analyze point by point as I analyzed it in my previous video, last Saturday video. And I want to process, to discuss with you, anyway, my opinion, my idea. For example, now, the first thing that was saying in that video that I've done last Saturday was about the population. Okay, now, this is actually true. I mean, it's true that the south of Italy is less populated than the north of Italy, but again, then we have to put the things all together. For example, the southern Italian territory, it's smaller than the northern Italian territory, for example. This is just a little point. For example, if I want to say, for example, I can say that Sicily is quite highly populated to be just one region. What is not really the regions that are not really highly populated in the south of Italy are the small region like, for example, Basilicata or Molise. These two regions, but for maybe Calabria, but also Calabria is quite well populated. So for me, it's more about, I mean, how big is the territory, okay? Then population is also related with the immigration, okay, with immigration, that the fact that Italians are leaving. But for example, what I want to say is that as they're leaving the southern Italians in this moment, in particular moment in 2024, also in the center and also in the northern of Italy, people, young people are constantly leaving. So this is not something that is only related with the south of Italy. This is a generic problem of all the country, okay? Then, my second point, for example, was about the motorways, the railways, and the roads in general. Okay, now, it's true that there are more motorways, let me say, in the north of Italy. But again, the territory in the north of Italy is bigger than the southern part of Italy. So, and we also have motorways in the south of Italy. Now, there could be, for example, the fact that to make the motorway that connects Rome, Naples to Reggio Calabria, to the to the lowest part of the tip of the boot, Reggio Calabria, that is the capital of Calabria region. So it took several years to build, for example. Then there are many stories behind, but anyway, for example, now it exists. Or there is the motorway that connect Napoli to Bari. Now, for example, if in the south of Italy there are less bigger cities than in the north, this is normal, for example, that anyway, you're gonna have less motorways. The same is for the railways, for example. Now, the railways, the only thing is that, of course, the fast train, there are more fast train in the north than in the south, but also in the last 10, 20 years, the situation developed also in the south. Then about the roads, and I want to give a point in favor of the south of Italy. Now, it's well known that everyone knows that the roads in Italy are in a very bad condition. You see, what did I say? I didn't just say the roads in the south of Italy. I said the roads in Italy. Now, this is a common problem that exists in all Italy. Now, the problem of the bad roads, it's not only something that in the north of Italy the roads are perfect while in the south of Italy are a disaster. I can give you an example, a stupid example. Now, the roads around Montemilone, around this area where I've relocated in Basilicata region, this northern eastern part of Basilicata that is also called Alto Bradano, that is also connected with the northern part of Puglia, of Apulia region. I'd say that the roads for me are quite well. So if I want to commute from Montemilone to Melfi, from Montemilone to Bari, from Montemilone to Naples, for example, if I want to go to Naples, I can say that the roads are very good. I have 30-35 kilometers of a secondary road, SS, that we call in Italy, Superstrada. Then, after these 35 kilometers, I join the motorway. In less than 2 hours, I'm in Naples. Fantastically. I can go to Apulia, wherever I want in Apulia region. I can go in 15-20 kilometers. I'm in the motorway that brings me, for example, to Pescara, to Ancona, to the northern part of Italy. If I want to go to Rome by car, it's gonna take, even by bus, it's gonna take 3 hours, 3 hours and a half, and the roads are quite well. There is a problem in the south of Italy with the very secondary roads, with the very small roads. And why there is this problem? Because here in this area, the majority of the people are working in the farming industry. Now, these roads are constantly used by farmers with tractors. And now, when with the tractors, with their tools, now they can accidentally, for example, damage the road. So that's why, for example, the very small roads, the roads that connect one small town to another small town, it's very, very hard to keep them, for example, in a very good condition. Very, very hard. Once we get out from these very small roads that are not really important to commute from one big city to another, and so that, for example, is one thing. Then the voting, okay, now I close the topic of the roads. Then, for example, was saying that voting, more people go to vote in the north of Italy than in the south. But of course, if we stated before that there are more people living in the north of Italy, then obviously you have, when people are going to vote, the percentage of people who are going to vote are less in the south of Italy. I mean, this is obvious. You see, it always depends how I want to depict, how I want to draw the image. If I want to see the glass half full, I will always see the glass half full. If I want to see it half empty, I will always see it half empty. Then we enter in the topic of the GDP. Okay, now GDP is well known that is much higher. In my previous video that I wanted to be a bit provocative, I said that is the truth that in some parts of the north of Italy the GDP is higher than than in Germany, than the German GDP or the British GDP or whatever. This is true. But then I can also say that in the south of Italy, now, if we always do the average, we might have some discrepancies. But, for example, in the south of Italy, there is the Naples district that is extremely productive. And the GDP in the Naples district, if we take, or in Apulia region, for example, it's very high. Now, where the areas in the south of Italy that are populated, obviously they have higher GDP than the areas that are less populated. I mean, obviously there was a comment from one guy that really disappointed me because this guy, for example, was from Naples. Then I don't understand why he comment in Italian while I'm running this channel in English. So if you've been able to understand properly what I said in English, reply in English. If you understood properly, even between Italian people, we can speak in English. Where's the problem? I mean, um, disappoint me because he took it personally. And he felt like many southern Italian people, when you point something negative towards the south of Italy, they get attached straight away. They take it personally straight away. I don't like that. For me, minds should develop a bit more in the south of Italy, and not take it, even if there is a problem, take it at a problem solution. We are going to solve this problem, not just to cry on ourselves. Anyway, in this comment, this guy said, oh, it's not true that the GDP, I agree with this comment, but the point is, you should have understood that my video was provocative, because I said even few times in the video that I would have made another one where I was going to kind of see the other side of each point. And so this is one thing about the GDP. So it's not actually true that only the GDP of the north of Italy is good. Then, if we see the, the generic situation in all the Italian country, the GDP is low. It's 30 years that the GDP doesn't grow more than 2%. I'm 47, so since I was 15, 16, I don't remember, since 1992, see, I don't remember the GDP of Italy growing more than 2%. I don't remember. That's a matter of fact. North and South, so there's not to blame the South and oh, the North is fantastic. No, not even the GDP, not even the North of Italy is actually producing as much anymore as it used to produce. So this is another thing. The unemployment rate. Now, I said, for example, again, in a very provocative way in my previous video, that some areas of the south of Italy have a very high level of unemployment. Technically true. I mean, I can say because I use the statistic, and some statistics are saying that, for example, in Calabria and in Sicily, 20-30% of the population are unemployed. Okay. Then, for example, I can say a few things in favor. Maybe they're not very good, but let me say. Now, I live in the south of Italy. And what do I notice daily? Okay. Daily, I notice that I never see anyone doing nothing. Never. I always see, in a way or in another, people very productive. In a way or in another, people even having two jobs, which is illegal in Italy. But so, and in another way, I noticed that now I'm not working, but if I really wanted to work, there was the job for me. For example, now I'm not really in this need at the moment that I must go to work, but if I really want, believe me, there is job for me. Then there is the thing that a lot of job could be without a contract, but it's decreasing. So this again is a stereotype that there are so many Italians unemployed or without a contract. I'm saying my wife straight away got a job, for example. It took her nothing. And she doesn't even speak Italian, my wife. And she straight away got a job. Okay, obviously as an English teacher, but there was an English school in a town near here who employed her straight away. So I said to her, no rush, you don't need to find a job straight away. Boom, straight away she found it, and she could have worked even 40 hours a week if she wanted. Now I'm putting a bit of pressure on her to say, listen, don't work that much. So the unemployment rate, then again, maybe in the south of Italy, what it also happens is this, that okay, we might still have a good percentage of women who are not working, for example. But then I'm thinking, I mean, I don't want to enter in the topic where, of course, women have to work if they want to work. But sometimes I think, and if it's enough one salary in the south of Italy to live, for example, if I'm a farming man, I have my lands, and I'm able to, for example, I'm able to provide for my family in a very decent way. And for example, now, then I will go after this. And then, for example, the wife wants to look after the children. Now, this is a very backward mentality. It's a very old style mentality. But no, now the point is this, that because I don't want to make any discrimination. Now, if a man, you see, I'm the I'm the house husband, I'm the houseman, housewife, house husband. I believe that if a woman wants to work, she should work. And I believe that the pay rate has to be the same. For example, now there are a lot of voices saying that women are paid less in the south of Italy, for example, women, or in Italy in general. Again, this is an Italian thing, that women are paid less. Sometimes in the news they're keep saying these things. For me, these are only stereotypes. But generally, I only see that women, that if they want to work, they're all working, all the women who want to work. Then if someone is forced to go to work because they cannot afford to live, if in a family one salary is not enough, so then obviously the wife would go to work, or the husband would go to work, simply to provide for the family. Sorry, my friend, the thinker. I mean, it's important to have incomes in the family. So it doesn't matter who brings the money, if it's the man or if it's the woman. In my case, it's the woman who is going to work, and I look after the house. Okay, I do my things online, but I'm doing the taxi driver. My wife doesn't drive, so I bring a commuter every day, and then I'm spending 5 hours, the 6 hours that she's working, I'm waiting over there until she finishes to work, and then I bring her back at home, and then I cook. And so my wife doesn't have to do, let me say, cooking, cleanings, driving. She has to work. Anyway, I wanted to be a bit provocative. Take me with a pinch of salt. Water, for example, water was another point, water scarcity. For example, I don't see all this scarcity of water in the south of Italy. Or I can also say, for example, that because in Italy, in that video, they were saying, oh, the Po River in the north of Italy, that is the biggest river, is providing all the water for farmings, and is providing a lot of water that is coming from the Alps and from the Apennines. Now, I remember for the last 10 years, the same story. Every summer, the television is announcing that the Po River is practically drought, is without there's no water, and all the farmers are suffering with water. For example, here it's true that it's not raining that much. Uh, for example, last summer it's true that it didn't rain that much, but it's also true, for example, that all the farmers have water. Suddenly they have water. All the farmers have the well, so uh, where they get water for their fields. Where I went to Apulia region and where I bought the olives to make the olive oil, these big farmers with big olive groves, I don't know how many hectares of land he has. I could say that he has 10,000 plants of of olives. He has his own wells, sorry, in where he can get the water. So basically, and then there are also the Apennines in the south of Italy. Calabria is full of water. Again, Sicily has the water. There is another problem with Sicily and the water, but Sicily is well known. Sicily has the mountains. Sicily has rain in the inner part of the island. It's also, maybe we can say that the structure to keep the water are not very well looked after. This maybe yes, but the same problem have in the north of Italy, that there are leakages everywhere. So, and then anyway, I could keep going on like this for each point that I mentioned. Um, the ports, for example, the ports in the south of Italy are working as the ports in the north. I mean, this is another stereotype for me, that there is Genoa or Trieste port in the north of Italy that are working more than the southern. And then the earthquakes, we have earthquakes in the north, we have earthquakes in the south. Okay, there was the topic of the volcanoes. Yes, volcanoes are mainly in the south of Italy. I mean, they are all in the south of Italy, but the volcano, the dangerous volcano, actually, there's no one dangerous volcano in the south of Italy. The only one is this that is not even a volcano, that is a caldera, that is called Campi Flegrei, but not even Vesuvio is this huge problem, or Etna, because then all the other volcanoes, for example, are in the sea. The majority of the volcanoes in Italy are distributed in the sea between Sicily and Sardinia, anyway, and Rome and Naples area. So I won't generalize too much. So all I want to say in this video is a kind of answer to the video that I've done last Saturday. And so, as you can see, a sober mind can bring you to the reality, and if you analyze always the things properly. When we analyze, when we process things, we don't have only to process things from one point of view. Try to put yourself as well in the other point of view. I mean, and this is what I usually do. I mean, then maybe, and then the correct answer will always be in the center. Cannot be A, cannot be B, but it will be C that is in the middle. This way of generalizing things, even in the politics, in anything, okay, take your own decision, but don't generalize. And even if you take your own decision, try to see the things from one point of view, and not only from your point of view. Try also to put yourself in the other point of view. Okay, my friends, so I'm not keep going on, also because I cannot make videos longer than 15 minutes, than 25 minutes in this camera. As you know, I don't do video editing, I just start recording till the end of the video, so I'll put in the video all the mistakes that I make. And so, if you watch the video up to now, please put like and subscribe, help my channel to grow, and that will be a great support. Write a comment, feel free. Actually, I want to thank every single person who is writing a comment under my videos. You're highly appreciated and you're highly welcome. I keep trying to answer to every single message, every single comment under my videos. Okay, my friends, I wish you a lovely weekend, and I'll see you with tomorrow with my Sunday video. Bye!